join the session, so we'll just take a look at that. So last week we actually focused on preparing for high school, what you need to do from elementary school to make sure you can get ready, make sure you're ready for high school. And we also looked at making the most out of your high school experience, most out of your high school education, and how some of the decisions you make in high school can actually give you an advantage when you're preparing for college and also in college acceptance. With those, we looked at volunteering opportunities and we looked at being part of student organizations. And today I'm going to show you how some of those volunteering opportunities can actually lead you to scholarships. And then we looked at the college readiness, which focused on our standardized tests, the SAT, the ACT, and some of the changes that have happened because of COVID-19. I came across a news article yesterday or the day before that said this is probably going to be the easiest time to get into a school like Harvard if you have the economic means, because they're waiving the SAT and ACT requirements. They're keeping all the others, most of the other ones, but the SAT, ACT tended to be the most difficult hurdle to overcome, because you're looking at, for the SAT, you're looking at probably high 1500s out of 1600 to get into Harvard. And for the ACT, you're looking for 35, 36 out of 36 to get into Harvard. So the fact that they are waiving that is giving more people an opportunity to get into a school like that. So feel free to leave any questions you may have as we go through. If you have any questions about scholarships, all the different types of scholarships we're going to go through, and just be sure to let me know. I'll keep looking at the chat to make sure that I can address the questions that you're asking. Okay, I think we have some more of our viewers in, and so we'll go ahead and get started with today's topic. So don't forget that you can ask your questions as we continue, as we go through the presentation. Ask your questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. No question is out of bounds, just ask them. So today what we're going to look at is the ways for you to pay for college. There are lots of different ways. We're looking at out-of-pocket funds, we're looking at loans, we're looking at free money, and under that we're going to focus on grants and scholarships. And then we'll look at some types of scholarships and some examples, and we're going to have some links for you as well so that you can go look into those scholarships if you're interested in them. So let's look at our college payment options. And for that, we're going to first look at the types of colleges that are out there. I think there are about 7 or 8 different types of colleges. We have community and junior colleges. And these are for students that maybe, for financial reasons, you want to have a cheaper option initially before you have to pay for college. College tends to be quite expensive. So for community colleges, we have students that maybe in high school didn't fare as well, or they were not able to get the grades or the scores that they needed for college. So community college is a way to ease into the college experience and make sure that you can get more attention from the professors because your classes are smaller than in your regular colleges. And your junior colleges, this tend to be about 2 to 3 year colleges. They're not all 4-year colleges. I doubt that you have a lot of them that are actually 4-year colleges, but they are mostly 2-year colleges, and you end up with your associate degree when you complete your community college or junior college. So the historically black colleges and universities, these are for students that would like to be in a school that is majority black. They want to have that kind of experience while they're attending their higher education. Liberal arts, so those that are into drama, theater, all those are the colleges that focus on that type of education. We have women's colleges. I know here in Texas they have a women's college for medicine so this is going to be a predominantly female experience. Some people prefer that. And then for tribal colleges, we're looking at for Native Americans, this is going to be a college that is going to be geared towards the things that they care about. And then finally, we have technical institutes and professional schools. So your technical institutes are for those that want to focus on a specific trade and don't want to have to go through the 4-year college experience. You can go to your technical institute to learn things like plumbing, carpentry, or whatever it is. And actually, there are some technical institutes that may do things like computer programming. They just focus on computer programming and everything that you need to do to be a computer programmer. I know when I lived in Canada, that was the first thing I did. I went to a technical institute to learn about programming and information systems. And then, of course, you have professional schools. You have your law schools and all of that, your professional schools. And then you have your 4-year colleges, so mostly your universities. There are a lot of different decisions to decide. You make a lot of different decisions about what colleges to go to. Some of it is financial, some of it is opportunity, some of it is culture. So there are a lot of our community. So these are the things that you want to think about as you select the type of college. Now that you've made a decision to go to college, another important thing you need to think about is, how do I pay for it? We have loans. There are different types of loans. I'm not focusing a lot on loans today. I want to focus on scholarships. So I'm just going to go through what loans are. So this is money that you borrow from a financial institution with the intention to pay back, and typically you pay back with some interest. I believe right now for college loans taken from if the federal government backs your loans, at least the last time I looked at it, it was about 6.75% interest. So that's a lot more than even a mortgage. And I know when I first took a loan for school with a financial institution, I was paying 11% interest. So you have to do some research on what type of loans you want. But I would say make sure you get loans that are backed by the federal government. They usually are lower interest rates. So we have grants also. It's another way to pay for college. And this is going to be the aid that is given based on financial need. It's a gift, which means you don't have to pay it back. So a grant, when you get a grant, you don't have to pay that money back. It's usually given to students that can display or that can show that they have financial needs. Now, one of the things that, with COVID-19, a lot of people have struggled, with some losing employment and all of that. And so schools are actually doing more to give grants to those type of students. And even if the parents are in a position where they have either lost some of their income because of reduced hours or furloughs, or some that may have just lost the jobs because their jobs have been completely wiped out. So the grants are all available from your colleges and even from the federal government to give you some assistance. So you can see that here we have some state governments do that, federal government, non-profits also give some grants, and then the schools are doing that as well. Now we have scholarships. This is money-based awards specifically designated, and so it's money that you're given to go to school. And there's some of it, I'm going to show you the different types of scholarships that we have, but the goal here is to make sure you can go to school without having some loan. You're given an incentive to continue to go to school. That's what the scholarship is about. And the last way I would think about here is the out-of-pocket funds. So these are for students. Some students are from families with a lot of money or affluence, and they can afford to pay for college without any kind of assistance. So these are the different ways that you can pay for college, but today's session is going to focus on scholarships. I'm going to check if there are some questions. Okay. All right, let's go to the different types of scholarships. So here are the different types of scholarships that we have. We have the academic scholarship, academic achievement scholarship, community service. Remember I said earlier that when you're in high school and you serve your community, that there could be a benefit as you apply for college. So this is one of the benefits you get. You can get a scholarship because of your service to your community. And there are other types of, under community service, there are other types of scholarships. Once we get into that part of the presentation, I'll shed some more light on that. We have athletic achievement. So for those that are good at sports, or you don't have to be good at all sports, you can be good at one or two sports and you can get a scholarship for that. Unique hobbies or traits. We look at personal background scholarships, financial needs scholarships, and we have family, workplace, or military affiliation and physical characteristics scholarships. So we're going to go through each of these and show you some examples, and we'll have a link for some of the ones that we talk about. And towards the end, we have a comprehensive list of links that you can look at as you do some of your research. So for academic scholarships, these are awarded to students with high academic achievement. So you can get, this will be offered by colleges and universities, and sometimes you could get a free education, and most students know this as a free ride. And some of these academic scholarships actually pay for your room and board as well as your tuition. So that is for your instruction time, for your instruction for 4 years, as well as your room and board for you to stay on campus for the 4 years. So there are lots of different different academic scholarships that you can actually apply for. I know there are lots of them in some UT Dallas has a pretty good one that I've heard about. And so what you can do here is I'll show you some places to look for this type of information. But one of the ones that I thought was quite interesting is the National Merit Scholarship. And this is given to mostly students that have scored really high on the PSATs. And I believe when I looked at their website recently, they're looking for those that score from 212 points and above. So if you're a junior that has attained that type of score in your PSAT, you're actually qualified to receive the National Merit Scholarship. And the scholarships can go as high for National Merit. You could go as high, I think it's about $2,500 to about $10,000 or thereabouts. So that's what you can get for that. And so here are some academic scholarships. We will post the links on the chart so you can take a look at them. So you see the Wells Scholarship is offered by the University of Indiana for academic performance. We have the Eminence Fellows, which is offered by Columbia, I think, and then the National Merit, which I just discussed earlier. So these are the three that we picked out for you to be informed about. But then as we go through, you will see that there are links to other types of academic scholarships as well. Now we'll look at community service scholarships. They're not reserved only for top students, but they are reserved and offered to students who volunteer in their communities. And here, when they're looking at volunteers, they're looking at you making an impact. There's actually a type of scholarship that for students who volunteer to save the environment. There are scholarships for students who volunteer in hospitals. There are scholarships for students that volunteer maybe in homeless shelters. So there are lots of different types of community service scholarships that you can benefit from. And you have an example here is the AXA Achievement Scholarship. This is a community service-based scholarship. And then we have the Prudent Spirit of Community Awards. And this one is unique because it's also available to international students. So if you're an international student and you find a way to give back to your community, this is one scholarship that you can easily apply for. And one thing to just remember as we look at scholarships, there are two conditions really for you to even qualify, for you to be able to apply. You have to be a citizen or you have to be a legal resident of the state or of the country. Now, I hope that's clear on what you need to do to qualify for those scholarships. So here are the links to the AXA Achievement and the Prudential Spirit of Community Award scholarships. You can go in there and take a look at what they're offering and what the conditions for those scholarships are. Every scholarship is unique in the sense of what is really what is looking for. Some, you will see that when we show you the list of websites you can go look for scholarships, you will see that you can get scholarships for just about anything. I wouldn't be surprised if you have a scholarship that you get for just volunteering and working with children that are disabled. There are scholarships for things like that. So as you look at these scholarships, it can help you plan what you're going to do in your high school experience, because a lot of times these scholarships, they start to kind of watch what you do once you get into high school. So now we have athletic achievement scholarships. These are given to students with exceptional athletic abilities. And this you would usually receive from your college. There's actually a myth about these type of scholarships that when you get the scholarship, you get a free ride. Not every school gives you a free ride. You have to pay attention to what the school is offering for scholarships. I know for most schools, you get scholarships in football, you get basketball. I think now that soccer, in the United States at least, now that soccer is becoming a sport of prominence, you could also get scholarships for being a soccer player. And golf is also another one that you can get scholarships for. But you can get scholarships for any kind of sport. But you want to make sure that you understand what the school is offering for that scholarship. Don't make an assumption that because you're a really good basketball player, that you're going to get a scholarship, you're going to get a free ride to any school you want. You have to see what those schools are interested in, because remember, the scholarships that they offer is also based on the incentives they get for those sports. So if you go to a school that doesn't really have any vested interest in maybe football, and you're a football player, you may not get as much of a scholarship as something like University of Alabama, that they've made their name from being a really good football school. So those are the things that you have to pay attention to. The NCAA Division 1 and 2 schools also offer these types of scholarships. I believe some private schools also do offer athletic achievement scholarships. And like I said earlier, this may or may not be a free ride depending on the school and the sport. So you have to make sure you ask those questions so that they can be answered for you, and that can help in the decisions you make about the college you want to pursue, the college you want to attend, and what you want to pursue in the future. Now, this is one that I actually found quite interesting as I was doing some more research on scholarships. It's the Unique Hobbies or Traits scholarships. And these are awarded to students with unique traits or hobbies. And one of the ones that I found it to be quite popular is the Stuck at Prom scholarships. And this is actually awarded to students with the best prom dress or tuxedo made using duct tape. It's pretty interesting. They actually awarded $10,000. They actually give 4 awards, 2 for the dresses categories and then 2 for the tux category. They give the first prize, I think it's about $10,000, and the second prize is $500 for each of those categories. So this is one that a lot of students tend to, during prom time, so most likely it's closed now because prom is already over, but they did a virtual prom this year, so they actually did award these scholarships this year. And this is the link. If you're not a senior yet, or you're not ready to go, you're not having your prom next year, just go ahead and take a look at this link and maybe bookmark it so that when it's time for prom, you can get quite creative with what you're going to do for your prom dress and your tux. Are there any questions so far? Let me take a look and see if we have any questions. Okay. All right, let's keep going. So the personal background scholarships, these are awarded to students that are traditionally underrepresented in the college community. It also for students that come from backgrounds, or maybe sometimes it's about groups that you belong to. It could be gender groups, it could be racial groups that are not represented in a specific type of field. An example is Women Tech Makers Scholarship. This is awarded to women or female students in graduate or undergraduate programs that are related to computer science, computer engineering, or any field that is relative. So you're looking at things like data science and so many other fields, networking, so this here is for women. The goal of this scholarship is to encourage more females to get into this field. So this scholarship is awarded to those type of females. Now we have this. The Hispanic Scholars Fund is awarded to Hispanic students, especially in the STEM field. So this scholarship is out there to encourage more Hispanic students to get into sciences, technology, engineering, and math fields when they're in college. And then the Ron Brown Scholars Program is awarded to Black or African American students in the STEM field. So you can see that there's a lot of encouragement for students of, to create diversity in the college community. So they do all these things to make sure we can have that college students have a diverse experience, because, most students come from places where you may come from a community that you never met anyone that did not look or talk like you. So when you go to college, it's an opportunity to broaden the way you look at the world, and also to diversify your thought processes. So that's why you have all these types of scholarships to encourage diversity in the college community. And so here are some links as well for you to take a look at. If you fit into any of these categories, you can take a look at, see what the conditions are, what the requirements are. Some of them may require you to write some essays. And I want to just call out that the essay you write for your college admission is not the same as the essay that you're going to use for these scholarships. They're usually different. In fact, the prompts may even be different. The prompts for the essay may be different. So you want to make sure that you understand exactly what the requirements are to qualify and to succeed in these scholarships. We have the Financial Needs Scholarship, and these are awarded to students that can demonstrate a financial need. So this is different from the grants, although it's similar to a grant. So the grants usually, like I said earlier, you could get from your state government, you can get from your federal government, you can get from nonprofits. But this is just a financial needs scholarship. These are only granted to students that can demonstrate a financial need. And here is what's unique about this one. This does not necessarily use the same conditions of financial need that the state or federal government will use. This may actually allow more students to qualify or less students than what the government is really after. And sometimes you may have the scholarships geared or trying to cater to students in a specific community. So for example, you have the Gulf Coast Community Foundation. So it's only for students that can demonstrate financial need but are residents of Sarasota County, Charlotte County, and Boca Grande County in Florida. So anyone else will not qualify. And then there are specific financial requirements that you have to satisfy to actually even qualify for this scholarship. So there's also another one called the Davis Potter Scholarship Fund. So if you go you can go to that link and look at what the conditions to qualify for are, and then you can look at the Gulf Coast Community Foundation scholarships to get some more information on that. Another one that I would like to call to your attention is Family Workplace or Military Affiliation Scholarships. So some companies offer scholarships to their employees and or their family members. And what I'm saying here is that some of the companies actually offer scholarships to their employees and to their dependents, and some may just offer to the dependents of their employees. So you have to look around to see what are the, I know Walmart for sure offers to employees and dependents. I think CVS offers to dependents only, but you can go ahead. Well, I have a link in the next slide to show you where you can go find some more information on that. And for the Walmart one, your family member or your parent has to be a Walmart employee for you to benefit from this, and the same as CVS. And they're very narrowly specified. One thing that happens sometimes with these scholarships is with these workplace scholarships is that they have maybe some agreements with some specific schools that they would only offer scholarships if you go to those schools. So you have to go, when you have a family member that is working in one of such organizations where you can get a scholarship, you have to make sure you understand the detail of what the expectations are for you to get into those scholarships. Some may give right now, because you have COVID-19 and there's a lot of interest in online schools, that some may actually start giving more scholarships for those that go to online schools. And don't be surprised if they actually would give an incentive for you to study something that is more in line with what they do. So for example, Walmart may offer a scholarship and give an incentive for you if you want to learn about retail, you want to learn about logistics, the supply chain, all those things that are in their wheelhouse. So that's what you want to also pay attention to. So I know we call it free money, but there are always these stipulations that you need to pay attention to, because really you don't have to pay it back. So they get to call the shots on what the conditions for qualification are. And then the military has funding opportunities for children of veterans and active duty members. So let's look at some. So these are the links to some of the scholarships. So you can see here for Walmart, you have the link for Walmart Associate, which is the same as a Walmart employee and a Walmart dependent. And then CVS has the link there for children of colleagues. And then we got the military scholarship. One thing that I think is good to call out, the military does offer a lot of benefits for those that are active duty. If you're active duty, sometimes they actually, for the most part, you can actually get your college paid for as an active duty military person. I know that I've encountered several people in the workplace and outside the workplace that have been able to avoid the pressure of student loans by just being in the military, and they get their school paid for, and they can go to whatever school they desire. So you just want to pay attention to that and look for some more information. If you're in the military and you're not taking advantage of that, or you are a relative or maybe a child or a dependent of someone who is an active duty military officer or a veteran, make sure that you can take advantage of the scholarship opportunities that currently exist. Let me check if there's some questions. Okay. So we'll keep going, and when I get to a question, I'll stop and then try to answer that. Okay, so next one we're going to look at is physical characteristics scholarships. This is one of the most interesting ones. This you don't actually have. You get the scholarship for being part of a specific group of people and specific physical characteristics. This one here is offered by Juanita College in Pennsylvania, I believe, for students that are left-handed. And the scholarship is actually quite good because some of them get up to $5,000 to $10,000 just for being a scholar that is left-handed. So I know for some, being left-handed, it depends on the communities you come from. Some people frown at it, but I think this college is trying to make it okay and make people feel like it's okay to be left-handed and it's not a deficiency. It's not a negative thing if you're left-handed. So they give this scholarship to students like that. And then this is called the Tall Clubs International Scholarship, and this is given to women who are at least 5'10" and men who are at least 6'2". Just for being tall, you get a scholarship. I believe it's about $1,000 you get. I mean, it's money you don't work for. It's just money you get for being who you are. And so if you're a very tall female or a very tall male going to college, you can apply for this and you get a free $1,000. There are lots of other scholarships of this sort. There are lots of them. There's actually a scholarship, I did not add it here, but there's actually a scholarship for little people who are, we call them dwarfs, they are shorter than their expected height. So they have a foundation. There's actually a foundation that awards them scholarships for being of that people group. And so here are the links to those scholarships: the Juanita College Left-Handed Student Scholarship and the Tall Clubs International Scholarship. So if you have a child or you're a student currently that is going to college and you meet the height requirements, that's money that you don't have to pay back just for being tall. Okay, so okay. Now here are some links that you can look at. These are the websites that you can look at all sorts of scholarships. One of the things I saw that I thought was quite interesting too about scholarships is, I think it was 2019-20 school year, I think schools give out up to $6 billion according to College Board. I think they gave out up to $6 billion in scholarships across the country. So there's money out there. A lot of people are trying to, a lot of wealthy people actually are trying to give back to their community by offering scholarships. There's the Gates Foundation Scholarship. That is a good one. It's actually awarded to 300 students every year for being exceptional in the academics. So you can look that up as well. And if you want some more information, we can definitely share with you. And so the ones that I like the most are scholarships.com and finaid.org. There you would find a complete list of all sorts of scholarships, and you can search. You can actually search for what type of scholarship you're looking for. If you're into athletic scholarship, you can actually look for athletic scholarships in there, and it will give you, based on the sport that you're interested in, what schools are going to be giving you the best type of scholarships. So take a look at all of these links. They're going to be very helpful to you. And because it's, we call it free money, quote unquote, although nothing is really free because you have to meet some expectations for them. And so go ahead and look at them and let us know if you need any help in anything. The other thing that we found to be good, we actually have some of these books already. So if you don't want to go through all the links, but always remember that when you go to the links, they're updated more frequently than a book. So here we have the 2021 books. But if it's 2022, then you have to go buy a different book versus going to any of these links, and then you have access to all of these. And as they get more information, they update them immediately. If they change, and don't forget that with COVID, there are a lot of things changing with COVID, and we have right now, for people who have student loans through the federal government, they're suspending your student loan payment for 6 months. No interest on them for 6 months so they're suspending that for 6 months as a result of COVID. Now, also there's some observations and some things that have been found out about the community, whether it's African American families, not having as much wealth as the Caucasian families. So there are some things they're adjusting within the school systems to actually account for some of those disparities that they have discovered. I mean, the disparities have always been there, but now they've come to the forefront. So everyone is trying to do something to address them. There hasn't been other than the suspension for 6 months, there hasn't been any concrete solutions yet from the Senate or the House in the United States, but they're working on something. Some are actually looking at potentially forgiving loans, student loans for families that have a specific income limitation. So there are a lot of different things. So just watch out for what's happening with the bills that are in Congress, especially the ones that are COVID-19 related. They're trying to do something. I know that there was actually a proposal to actually forgive everyone $10,000 of their student loan, but that proposal has not been finalized. So there are lots of different things. So pay attention to what's going on, and I think you will see that COVID-19, although it's a tough time, but it's actually created some changes in our country and different countries around the world. So you can find these books on Amazon. If you want to go the book route, you can get these books on Amazon. And they actually, I know last week we had a question about how can you tell what the school expectations are for you to get accepted. This book here, called The Ultimate Guide to America's Best Colleges, will give you all of that information. It'll tell you SAT scores, ACT scores, and but I would say right now I wouldn't rush to buy a book because they have to be updated. Because some of the schools here, like Harvard and I think maybe Yale, they're suspending the SAT, ACT requirements for this upcoming school year, but we don't know about the next one. So you want to just make sure that you go the online route first, and then maybe give it some time until the schools have decided what they're going to do with SAT and ACT before you go ahead and spend some money. These books cost about $30 to $40, I think. They're about you can get it for probably about $25 on some websites, so about $35 thereabout. So that's that. I hope. Do you have any questions on scholarships for me? Okay, I see that there are no questions. All right, if there are no questions, thank you so much for attending our session today. Really appreciate your time. We will continue to do things like this. So on Tuesdays, what we've decided to do over this summer, on Tuesdays we're going to be offering some kind of a puzzle time, something relaxing and enjoyable for the kids. And then on Thursday, we'll try to do something informational. So if there's an area of education that you feel that you probably need more information on, or you don't really understand how to navigate, you let us know. There may be other parents or students that have the same concern, and we will try to do a session on Thursday to shed some light on that and to kind of simplify things for you. And so I want to also remind you that this summer we're having our summer program, and we've already had some students join our session, and so far they've been having a good time and they've been learning. It's not just about having a good time, but we want you to learn and also have fun. So we're doing that, and it's going to be math, reading, science, and then we'll be starting our SAT, ACT session shortly. And so if you want some more information on that, please contact us through any of these methods that we have listed here. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe, so that when we've prepared for these sessions, you'll be notified that we have this session coming up. And I look forward to hearing from you all on the session. You can give us some feedback. You can send us an email. If there's an area of these scholarships that maybe we didn't get to address that is important to you, send us an email. We'll take that feedback and see how we can provide more information to you. Send us an email. You can go to our website, or you can call that number on the screen, and we'll be glad to hear from you, and also be sure to respond to your concerns. So now it's question time. It's question time. If you have any questions, let us know. Okay. So I'll wait for a few more moments. If there are no questions, if you have any, even if you have questions about our summer program, you can ask it as well. I'll be glad to answer that question for you. But you can also call us. You can reach out to us through any of the means specified here. You can contact us through any of these means, and we'll be glad to answer your questions and then work with you and your children as they express interest in our summer program. Yeah, we've got some more time, so if you have some questions, we can answer them as well. Okay, what I think we can do is I'm going to show you the finaid.org site just so you can see what we're referring to. So you can see on this website, this has a lot of information about financial aid for students. And you can come here to scholarships. And this allows you to search all types of scholarships. So you can see all the different types of scholarships that are available. Athletic scholarships, you can see scholarships for women, for men, for African American students, for Latino students, even for students who either their parents have dealt with some kind of a cancer in the past. So there are lots of different, and then you can see the full tuition academic scholarships. Remember I said earlier that some academic scholarships don't cover your full tuition. So you can actually look here to find the full tuition academic scholarships. And we have one called unusual scholarships. So let's go to that one and you'll see some of the, so you can look at Little People of America scholarships, Tall Clubs International, they're for creativity, make your own wool competition, lots of different things that you can take advantage of. For those that are in telecommunications or interested in media, you can come here to the David Letterman Telecommunications Scholarship, get more information on that. So there are lots of different opportunities that are available for you to get scholarships. And let's see, let's look for scholarships for women, right? So for scholarships for women, you can see all the different types of scholarships. Here you can see the deadlines. So for some of them, the deadlines have expired. Some schools are actually extending deadlines, but you would have to go to their websites to get more information. This site may not be as up to date. And you can see all the different, who is available to, the awards the award that is available. So there are a lot of different things you can do, a lot of different opportunities to encourage us to go to school. And one of the things that, COVID-19 has also exposed to us is that there's some, with the advancement in technology in our country and around the world, there's some courses of study that may not be as beneficial than others. They may not be as beneficial as they used to be. Now you have robots that can do just about anything. I know, I remember about 10, 15 years ago, you could call somebody and get someone to talk to you. Now it almost seems like you have to pull teeth to get someone to talk to you. Why is that? Because they've been able to replace that position with a computer or with an electronic device. So colleges have there's a high demand for college education right now because you're looking at people are studying robotics. You have to go to college to study that. And sometimes you have to go to college for a long time to be able to get the knowledge you need to compete in the workforce. So as you're looking at as you're planning for college or planning for your children's college, you want to pay attention to where the career potential or the job potentials in the market in the future, so that they can take advantage of that. So the workforce is changing, and so we just want to make sure that we're ready to adapt to whatever changes are presented to us in the workforce. So these sessions that we have are just informational, so that if there's something that we see that could be beneficial to you, or as you plan as you work with your children to plan their future, then we'll give you some information that you can actually factor in those decisions that you're making. What about... Yes, thank you for that question. So we have graduate scholarships. Yeah, there are some of them that are graduate scholarships. I believe you go to scholarships.com, you can probably find those that are more specific to graduate scholarships. I know FinAid may have some. Let's see, they may have some, but you have to dig in a bit more to find them, and that's why some of the books that I recommended earlier, maybe they will be very helpful as well for you to. You can actually go and focus. You can actually focus on the part of the book that is tailored to graduate students. So that's why we have the book as an option. With the website, you have to look at different things. Let's go to scholarships.com. So you can see there's a scholarship directory, and so these are the different types of scholarships that are available there. And then you can actually, if you're academic major, okay, you can come here and look for the different fields that you're interested in and see what type of scholarships are available. Information systems. So you can see here there's a graduate cybersecurity scholarship of $5,000. So if you're trying to study cybersecurity and you're a graduate student, this is available to you, and it's open till March 2nd of 2021. So there are lots of different things you can find here, and then when you go in here, you can see what the conditions are to qualify for that scholarship. I hope that answers your question. What summer programs? So right now we're offering programs in math, reading, science for K to 12. Actually, most of our students have been around first grade going to second grade, all the way to about 11th grade going to 12th grade. And then we have the SAT and the ACT classes that we're going to be offering shortly. But you can reach out to us. Our phone number, email will be made available in a second. So you can reach out to us, and then we can discuss some more on the details of the scholarships. The details of the summer program and which ones you may have an interest in. All right, I don't think I see any other questions. Okay, I don't have anything else to cover if there are no questions. I know we have about 9 minutes left, so if there are any, I can wait behind for a few more minutes, and if you have more questions that come through, let us know, or let me know, and then I'll do my best to answer them as much as possible. And if I don't have an answer right now, if you can contact us, I can answer those directly, and if it's something where I may need to write a blog about it, I'll do something like that. All right. Thank you all for your time. Really appreciate you joining our session, and I hope you will join us again. Don't forget, on Tuesdays we have something for the kids. It's a puzzle time for the kids to just have a good time. This Tuesday was exciting. I mean, it was fun to just hear how the younger students, actually all students, think about different type of scenarios, and the puzzles were quite engaging, and those those students that were there looking forward to next week. So I hope you will join us, and you would you'll permit your children to join us as well. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to learning again next week. Be blessed.